Hello everyone, welcome back to Atreyu Crochet. So, as promised, in today's video we will be creating the shingles or the fringe for our scarf that we made last week. Things you will need include a pair of scissors, a large crochet hook. This is a size J 6mm and that is US. The yarn that you were using, this is the second ball that I used to make this scarf. And then either the inner cardboard of a roll of tissue, or if you want your fringe to be a little bit longer, then you can use one from a roll of paper towel. And obviously you don't want to make your, well, you could make your fringe that long, but I would get this and then cut it down so that I would get it to a length that I want my fringe to be. So even if it's not quite this long, it's definitely longer than what I would get using this one from the roll of toilet paper. Okay, so let's get started. So when it comes to figuring out how many groups of fringe you're going to need, I mean, one, that's completely dependent on you. I'm kind of a symmetry freak myself, and so I have decided to add my fringe with 3 stitches in between. So let me show you what I mean. I would put my first grouping, my first fringe in that corner, and then I would count over 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3, and then I put another one there. And that's the second one, and I count over 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3, and then another, and so on. So if I count over 3, let's see how many pieces of fringe I'm going to need. Alright, so starting in that corner, if I put the first one there, then I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay? You can put them closer together, your fringe, which means you're going to have more, so you would count over maybe 2 stitches, and then you have more than 8 sections of fringe, or you can put them super close, like in every stitch. It's completely dependent on you. But since I'm going to need 8 for this one, and this edge is the same width, then I'm going to need 8 for that one as well. So I'm going to need a total of 18 pieces or sections or groups of fringe. Okay, so now that I've calculated that, I can move on to cutting the pieces of fringe. So this is where the inner part of my roll of toilet tissue comes into play. So here we have that, and I'm just going to kind of fold it in half. Okay, I want to take my scissors, I'm going to cut out a little section in the center. You want to make sure your scissors are pretty sharp. Okay, and once you get it like that, you can just cut. Alright, and then do the same thing on this edge. Just try to match where you cut on the other side. Alright, once you have that like that, then fold that out like that so it's easier to cut, and then just cut across. Alright, so this is where we're going to be wrapping the yarn. Alright, so now we're going to take our yarn from the ball, and we're going to put it in the center like that, and let the end of that tail come right up to that edge. And now we're going to wrap around 4 times. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Alright, whatever edge, so we have this edge and this edge, right? Whatever edge this tail is laying on, that's the side that you're going to cut. Okay, so we can cut this now. This is the piece that's attached to the ball of yarn, so we'll cut that down so that it is of a comparable length. So just cut that like that. Okay, and now remember, this tail is on this edge, it's not up there, it's down there, so we're going to cut down here. So just slide your scissors behind those strands of yarn and try to get to the center like that, and then just cut. And now we have fringe of that length. Okay, say you saw this and you're like, it's a little too short for my liking. Something that you could do is take the same roll and then kind of put it back out and then go this way and say, yeah, I think I like this better, where I get to use all of this. Then you lay this on top like that, and then wrap 4 times. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then just insert your scissors down at the bottom and cut. Okay, and then cut there. This is the part that's still attached to the ball. Wrap that back over. And now you have another section that is a little bit longer than the previous one. Okay? Say you want it really long fringe. So let's go out a little bit. Alright, so flatten that. And let's cut this down just a little bit. Okay. Then, same thing. Bring this on down. Okay, like that. And then 4 times wrap. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Whatever edge you started at with this first piece, be sure to cut on that edge. Okay, so we will insert our scissors, cut down in there like that, and then this piece that's still attached to the ball of yarn, cut that as well. And now we have much longer fringe. Okay, so these are the 3 different lengths of fringe that I have come up with, and I think I'm going to go with this longest one. And so I'm going to now make 15 more of this longer length fringe, and I will pop back on once it's time to attach the fringe to the scarf. I'll see you there. Alright, so as you can see, I now have my 16 sections, groups, pieces of fringe cut, and so now it's time to get to attaching them. Okay, so I have my edges. I have my first section of fringe, and I don't know if you guys could tell, but when I have them kind of crisscrossed with each other, the bottom layer, I believe it was a little bit lighter, and so I laid them all out and I alternated between lightest, which is, this is an example of that, with the slightly more tan color, so I'm going to be alternating light, slightly tan, light, slightly tan. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is grab your crochet hook. Like I said, this is a size J 6mm US, and you just want to insert the crochet hook where you want this fringe to go. So I want it to go right in that corner. Okay, and now I'm going to take this and kind of split it in half like that, and then hook that on and then pull through. Alright, now I'm going to let go. See how I had both pieces on either side of my pointer finger? I'm going to let go one and pull with the other. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie a knot with all of the strands together. So just wrap around and tie a knot, pulling all of that together, making sure nothing gets caught on anything and everything comes through that should. Okay, and then just ever so gently pull like that. Okay, one of my strands got caught somewhere that I didn't want it to get caught, but it's okay. We can always cut this down a little bit. Okay, and so you have that, and now this fringe is secure there. Okay, if this happens, then just cut it down so it's comparable to the rest of them. Alright? And so remember, I decided I'm going to skip over every 3 stitches. So 1, 2, 3. This is the next place that I want my fringe to go, so that's where I'm going to insert my crochet hook. Okay? Then I'm going to grab the slightly tanner piece of fringe, fold it in half again, hook it onto the crochet hook and pull through. Once I get it like that, notice how I have my pointer finger in between these 2 sections. So I'm going to let go of one while pulling up on the crochet hook so that one side comes through like that. Alright, now I'm going to bring them all together. Make sure they're about the same length. Okay. And now I'm just going to tie a knot. I'm going to try to do a better job this time. Alright, so just tie a knot, grabbing all of the strands, pulling through, and then don't just pull, make sure you're pushing up on that loop there while you're doing it. Okay, like that. So it's kind of you're pulling but pushing up, pulling, pushing up as well. Okay, and so I don't know if you guys can tell on the camera, but this one is slightly lighter than that one. So I'm just going to continue adding fringe across, and I'll meet you once I get here. Okay, see you there. So as you can see, I'm to the corner, so I'm just going to insert my crochet hook where I want the fringe to go, as I've been doing all along. Then I'm going to grab my fringe, wrap it around that finger, hook it on to the crochet hook and pull through. Once I get there, I let go and pull up. Make sure all of it comes through. Then I put all the strands together, make sure they're of an equal or comparable length, and then I commence to tying that knot. Pull through, and remember, don't just pull here. Get your fingers there and push up while you're pulling, and it'll just come out much better. Okay? So now I put all 8 pieces of fringe on this section, on this edge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And once again, I've alternated between light and with slightly tan, light, slightly tan, and so on. Okay, so now I'm going to do the other edge, this edge right here. Okay? And I will meet you once this one is complete. Alright guys, so once you have all of your fringe attached, then you can just kind of line it up together and just go through and even it up. And if you don't want it to be perfect, then you don't need to do this step. Just kind of wanted it to be a little bit more even than what it was. And you can do multiple passes if it takes that. It all depends on how even you want it to be, okay? I just don't want any super noticeable discrepancies in length. Alright, so that looks a little bit better. I'm happy with it, and yeah, this is how you add fringe to a scarf. So hopefully this tutorial was helpful. That's going to be it for this video, you guys, but I'll see you in the next one. In the meantime, happy crocheting.